Word. It's nice that it tells you that. All right. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me for sure. And also for anybody who's going to be watching this later, Moroni is one of the judges. So he's my one of my guests for an interview and then also a judge for Hot Summer Shorts. So that's very exciting, especially for anybody who's going to be submitting an animatic. I'm excited for him to be involved in helping us choose our top three.
Yeah, thank you. I love judging people.
I know somebody said that on the LinkedIn comment. She was like, "You're gonna judge me in this too." Um, for anybody who doesn't know, I tried to post so people would be informed. Anybody who isn't familiar with Moroni, Moroni, you are story guy kind of extraordinaire, and that's primarily what you've done, right? You've been a story
Yeah,
for in a lot
yeah.
of different studios. What was the first one that you worked in? Like the first studio that you got hired at?
So the very first for storyboarding, the very first one was the studio called Hyperion Animation, and they were doing two sequels to the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, really? Oh my
That was
gosh.
my legit first storyboarding job. I had no idea how to storyboard, and they asked that no one in the so it was my junior year at Cal Arts. And of course, I got passed over by all the big studios because I just wasn't very good. This little tiny studio comes up and they're looking for people to work on direct to video Brave Little Toaster sequels. And the vibe at school at that time was like, oh, direct to video is lowball. Who wants to do that? That's garbage. That's beneath us. And I'm like, dude, I need a job. I don't even
I'll
care.
just take anything.
And
Yeah.
this was when I was still trying to be an animator. I didn't know
Okay.
about storyboarding.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my first questions. So you said that you did go to Cal Arts, which I had seen, and so did they have a storyboard specific department back then,
No,
or was it just the like character animation?
storyboarding wasn't really a thing. I mean, obviously it was a thing, but it wasn't like something, a career that people would aspire to. We all thought, oh, you get to be an animator and or an in-betweener or a cleanup artist or whatever, because
Yeah.
2D was still alive. This was like 1990. I started in 91. I graduated in 96. I took a couple years off to serve a mission for my church. Um, but yeah, so 2D animation was still very much going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disney and Warner Brothers had just started, and they were doing quests for Camelot and looking for animators. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna animate. I could
Right.
not save my life. I couldn't. I hated life drawing. I'm like, why am I drawing naked people? When am I ever gonna use? Oh, you got to learn anatomy. I'm like,
It is helpful, but I totally understand people who do not enjoy
just didn't
doing
enjoy
it.
it. No, I was not into it at all. So that's, I put together a really terrible portfolio. The studios would come up at the end of the year and look at everyone's work. Of course, I got rejected or passed over. I mean, no one even talked to me. Like, yeah, this sucks. Get this on the reject pile.
Gosh.
So there's this little studio that we need a board artist to make sequels to the Brave Little Toaster, and all my friends are like, oh, that's so lowball. I would never work on a straight to video. It's like the equivalent now of maybe working for Coco Melon or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Who wants to work on a nursery show on YouTube? Nobody.
Right.
At least, well, whatever. I mean, the job's a job. So, so I had made this giant storyboard for this film I thought I was going to make. It was like 10 minutes long. Didn't even know that I actually like storyboarding, but there I storyboarded, but still that was only a means to animation.
Right.
So I took this sample, this giant storyboard, and it was all on paper. It was like a ream of paper. And I took that down to show them, like, oh, so you're a board artist. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm a board artist.
You're like, yeah, fake it till you make it, man.
And they're like, great. Well, we're doing two sequels, so you're hired. I'm like,
That's,
yes, thank you, Lord.
but I feel like that, I don't know, everybody kind of assumes that I'm going to go to school for exactly this and then I'm going to get hired for exactly that. And like, what percentage of the time is that actually reality? I feel like very little. So that,
Little.
yeah,
Well,
that answered my other question. I was going to ask you, specifically if that was something that you fell into. And it sounds like you did,
I
which is,
did, yeah. So that summer, there was me and like three other guys that were boarding these sequels. So we did two features in 6 months, which I didn't know that that was unheard of. I was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna draw, whatever.
wow.
So I learned, I was looking at the other guys and we were drawing on paper and they would, at the end of the day, they're just throwing all this crap in the trash. And I'm like digging through, like, oh, that's a cool drawing. And I'm looking at
Right?
work and
If only you'd known, like nowadays, all the drawings that everybody at the studios has thrown away. I'm like, oh,
so much stuff away. Yeah. So I learned how to storyboard that summer. And I look back now and I did have an affinity for it. So it wasn't like, I'm saying I didn't know what I was doing. I had done a little bit and I just kind of had a mind for it. So when I was actually doing it for 8 hours a day, I was like, all right, yeah, this is cool. And then towards the end of the project, the veteran guys got laid off and I'm still there. I'm like,
oh,
wow, must be really good because they got rid of the other guys. No, it was because I was cheap. That's why. They paid
yeah,
the least of everybody. I figured that out a little bit later. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's
yeah.
why.
But if yeah, you were still employed, that's
I'm still employed. Yeah. And then so when I went back to school for my last semester, I was like, I'm not animating anymore. I don't even care about animation. I'm gonna do focusing on storyboard. So I made like 3 films my senior year, colored them all. No one else was coloring their films in those days because we were just doing pencil test.
right.
But I colored all my films, and that kind of set me above, I don't know, I guess everybody else or something. It differentiated me.
Yeah,
So then when the studios came back the following year to hire people, Warner Brothers came in and they had a training program for storyboard artists. And I applied. I said, yeah, I want to be a board artist. And so that was my first job on a theatrical release feature was Quest for Camelot.
oh, okay. That I didn't know that you did. I loved Quest for Camelot, by the
Did
way.
you?
Good job. Though I love that movie.
I did a bunch of stuff with the two-headed dragons and the Bladebeak, the chicken guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I know that now.
that movie was the movie I discovered that I was good at jokes. And so they paired me up with a mentor, this really cool guy named Fred Klein. And so I learned a bunch of stuff that I was properly being taught. At Brave Little Toaster, they just threw me in the deep end and I'm just drawing stuff. Like no one's teaching me
Yeah.
anything. And so at Warner Brothers, Fred Klein taught me so much stuff. And then I just was making jokes and stuff. I'd be working on a scene with him. Like he'd be mostly doing it. He'd be a little bit of the scene to do. And I'm always coming up with jokes and stuff. And after a while, I go, dude, Moroni's giving jokes. So they said, here, take this little chicken guy and come up with like 1,000 jokes. I mean, not literally 1,000, but come up with as many jokes as you can. So I must have probably come up with about maybe 100 jokes with this chicken dude. And I pitched him, and like a bunch of them made it in the movie.
It's awesome.
That was really fun. So that kind of became my thing. And from that movie, I went on to um, Iron Giant.
Yeah.
No idea how lucky I was.
That movie is so, I mean, I won't say I don't think it's underrated. I think a lot of people really appreciate that movie, but
People know how good it is now, but
oh, it's amazing.
yeah,
It's so good. Brad Bird and oh man, so good.
yeah,
Um,
that was super fun. Like I still on that movie, I could not draw cinematically. I'm still drawing like everything profile, everything flat, and
yeah,
but I was doing funny stuff. So Brad's like, all right, cool. Here, do this scene. So I would do it. And then he would hand off my scenes to other board artists who would redraw it and make it cinematic.
right.
And at first I was like, oh, I'm insulted. And then I realized what was going on. And then the other board artists was like, who were, much more veteran artists than me, like, dude, why can't you draw your stuff so we don't have to redo it? And I'm like, well, why? Maybe if you're funny, you wouldn't have to redraw my stuff. I mean, it was a friendly conversation.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, you can totally take pride in the fact that, yeah, because I think that's depending on what studio you're in and kind of what your strong suits are, you certainly you're going to run into that. You become, even if you're more of an idea person than a fine art, make it pretty person, like still it's still hugely, beneficial and contributing to the film. So that's awesome.
I'm definitely not a make it pretty person.
I'm trying to focus less on that in my work. Like, I mean, I don't know. It depends. Again, I'm doing 2D generalist stuff now, so I'm kind of getting thrown all over the place, like doing different stuff, which has been so fun. So it's like depending on what I'm working on, if I'm doing story, it's like, okay, well, you gotta make it more loose. You're just trying to get the idea across, and then versus like, oh, we want you to do like a final of a character kind of thing, and it needs to look pretty. So the balancing act, but that's so cool. So you did Iron Giant, and that your only Disney project that you did?
No, I've actually never worked for Disney.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, you're right. That wasn't what
Well,
studio?
that's Warner Brothers.
Was Warner Brothers. That's right.
Yeah, my first film job was Warner Brothers.
That's right.
And
Okay.
I went to DNA, Jimmy Neutron. I worked on the Jimmy Neutron movie, not the show, but the movie. And then I went to Blue Sky, and then I was at Blue Sky for 17 years. And since then,
Yeah.
like everywhere except Disney, Paramount, Sony. I haven't worked for DreamWorks. Illumination for a long time. That was super fun.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well, I've had somebody recently that was like, oh gosh, like I know Moroni worked for Blue Sky. It's so sad that Blue Sky, shut down. So you worked at Blue Sky to the end of the studio's time?
I left just thankfully just a little bit before they died, before they were murdered, actually.
Murder. Yeah.
Definitely murdered.
Oh,
So they had just started. One of my friends from Warner Brothers, a guy named Jerry Davis, he was a producer, and he was from back east, and he did a little bit of work on Iron Giant, and then he moved back east, and he was Blue Sky hired him. Well, Fox bought Blue Sky and gave him Ice Age to make, and then so this my friend Jerry Davis was back there working as a producer on Ice Age, and he called me a couple times. He's like, "Hey, dude, we got this Ice Age movie, you want to come work on it?" I'm like, "Oh, go, you guys are in New York. I don't know if I really want to move to New
yeah.
York, but all right, yeah, here's my portfolio." And so they brought me out for a few weeks for freelance. It was pretty fun, but I was hoping to get another job in LA because that's where we lived. I had kids and we already bought a house and stuff. And
Right.
anyway, so then they offered me a job, and I told my wife, I'm like, well, we can move back east, and both of us are, we grew up in the West. And she's like, all right, why not? And so we were there for 17 years. I worked on every Blue Sky movie.
Wow.
And then in 2017, we decided to move to Utah. And so,
I was gonna ask you because I know you're there now. Uh,
yeah, well, our kids were mostly grown up at this point. I have 7 kids, and my wife's like, "Well, I really want to live in Utah." I'm like, "Oh, why? There's no studios there, but okay, maybe."
that's kind of me in Texas. It's like here I'm in kind of the middle of everything. And there's probably I think there are some studios kind of in the bigger like Dallas and Austin, but not moving there. So is what it is. Thank God for remote work, right?
Yeah, no, for real. So, I mean, remote work really wasn't that big of a deal, or wasn't a thing in animation like it is now. So, my wife's pushing, like, all right, well, I guess we'll move to Utah. I'm hoping for the best. Hope I'm not working at Home Depot in 6 months.
Right.
Anyways, all right. So it was actually kind of a long transition period. Like I stayed at Blue Sky for about 2.5 years while my family was living in Utah because I was
Oh,
I was just too afraid to quit. I'm like, ooh, I don't really know what I'm going to do next. Like, there's no.
yeah.
So, anyways, my youngest was turning 4, and I'm like, you know what, this sucks. I don't like being away from my kid.
Yeah.
It's my favorite age. I'm just going to quit. I don't care what happens. I'm out of here. So, and it wasn't that Blue Sky was horrible. I just, we were in this weird transition with our family. So,
Yeah, it worked out though.
I left Blue Sky, and then I called up Chris Meledandri because he used to be the big boss at Fox and Blue Sky. So I knew him. I said, "Hey, I'm open to work. You guys need any board artists?" He goes, "Heck yeah!" And Illumination scooped me up immediately, and so I worked for them for almost 3 years on a bunch of their movies. And so I was like, dude, why did I say Blue Sky or make this horrible commute from Connecticut to Utah for 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Anyways, it worked out for me. And since then, I've just done freelance all over the place. And
Yeah.
freelance life it's a little bit feast or famine, mostly feast, but it's been a little bit famine lately.
Yeah.
I still like it. That's been actually enabled me to do all this dairy cow stuff that I'm doing.
That was gonna we're gonna segue into that is when did you start the dairy farming? Was that was that something that you were familiar with previous to your move to Utah, or did that kind of
No.
develop when you moved?
So when we lived in Connecticut, my youngest son was friends with this other kid at church. They were the same age, and
Mhm.
that kid's dad was like, "Oh, hey, I have some goats. They just had goats, and who wants to see baby goats?" I'm like, "Oh, baby goats, that sounds cool." So we went over to their house, and this guy, my son's friend's dad was a retired heart surgeon. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. What are you doing with all these animals? He goes, well, and he starts talking about heart disease and all this stuff and like then what this called SAD, the standard American diet, and how it's just
Hmm.
dying from eating garbage food. I'm like, oh, I never heard of this stuff.
Right.
He goes, well, I have a milk cow and we drink raw milk. I'm like, literally, what is raw milk? I mean, I don't drink milk. It's gross.
Right.
You tried raw milk? I'm like, no, why would I do that? Milk is disgusting. And he
I
goes,
like
here's some raw milk. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
the raw milk was the gateway drug to being a dairy.
So he tells me, and I did not grow up with livestock. We had chickens, yeah, whatever. That doesn't count. Like chicken,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
different. It's very different for sure.
so he's got a cow, and he's so we start getting raw milk from him, and he's teaching us all this stuff about nutrition. And this guy's way older than the average. He's a lot older than me. He's old enough to be my father, but he had a son way late in life, and so that's how our connection started. So he goes, well, my cow is pregnant, and if she has a baby a heifer, I'll give her to you, and then you can have your own milk. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, I'm probably impulsive and this
I'm laughing because I know that.
stuff that I don't even think about. So he's like, great. Well, a few months later, he's like, all right, well, she had a girl, come get her. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't really serious, but you know what? Why not? And so I don't even have a stock
Yes.
trailer. So we go down in we had a full-size Chevy van because we got all these kids. So we take the seats out of the van and we drove over to his house and we put this little calf in the back of the van. And of course it poops immediately. And my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, she goes, you, I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, don't tell me anything. I got a cow. This is
I
amazing.
got a cow.
And so we lived on 3 acre, or where we lived, all the houses have like, it's not really rural, but everyone has 3 acres, two or
Yeah,
three.
a little bit. Yeah.
So it's sort of ruralish, but nobody has animals. It's Connecticut. Like we're on the poor end of the rich town or something. I don't know. Um, so I build a barn and I just start raising this cow and go buy hay and I'm like, cool. Well, it gets old enough to be pregnant and I get the local vet to come and do AI. Next thing you know, it has a baby. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna milk this cow. Zero experience, none.
Wow.
And I'm out there like,
Yeah, trying to
I
wow. Okay, but
figured
you know what?
out.
Verona, like so many props to you for just like winging that because like how many dairy farmers are just people that it's like in their blood, in their family for like
Yeah,
generations and generations, and you came along and you were like, you know what, that seems cool, we'll try
I'm
it.
gonna do it. So yeah, I'm milking the cow, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Milking you," and she's like, "No, you're not milking me. Get your hands off." I'm like, "Yeah, but this is gonna happen." It was taking me like an hour to get like a half a gallon of milk, and
Wow.
it got to the point like after a couple months of this, I'm like, "Okay, I'm either gonna figure this out or I'm just gonna eat this cow because this is not working for either of us."
Oh my gosh.
I asked God what to do, and He says, "Get a milking machine." And I'm like, "Yeah, but everybody says it's not worth it for one cow." And He's like, "Get a milking machine." I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So I get a milking machine. I put it on the cow. She's like, "What the heck is this?" She kicks it off. I'm like, "Well, it's going back on." Put it back on. She's like, "Well, it's better than you are." So okay, it's. After that, it was easy. I figured it out, and
Wow.
did not know that I love cows as much as I love cows until I had one. So
They're awesome. I love cows. We have
and
different kinds of cows, but I
yeah,
love that you have the Jersey cows, right?
I have all jerseys. Yeah, I do have one Charlotte. She's really cool. She's
Yeah.
huge.
Uh,
Compared to Jersey, she's a giant.
love the dairy breeds. Don't think I could do the dairy the dairy thing like you, but love cows. All
I mean, it's hard work, yes, but it's relentless work. You can't
yeah,
not do it, no matter what. You're sick,
right.
get out there. It's Christmas, I don't care. Go milk the cow. Oh, you
Yeah.
got a birthday party tonight? Too bad. It's your anniversary? No, come over here and milk me. You are
Yeah,
not going anywhere. You're gonna be here and milk twice a day. That's what you're doing.
right. Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm not strong enough. I don't have the willpower. So speaking of being a dairy farmer, though, I mean, would you say that that experience has made you a better story guy? Like those experiences, have those ever kind of rolled over into your?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, life experiences are what make you a good story person. You experience life, you do things.
Mhm.
The consistency has taught me a lot. Like, you probably see on LinkedIn or social media or, artists when the studio lays people, oh, let's start your own studio. And that is like the funnest idea ever. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, we all know how to do stuff. And when Blue Sky got shut down, there was a Facebook group, and everyone's like, "Hey, let's all get together and start a Blue Sky, 2.0 or whatever." And we're all like, "Yeah." Well, now that
Yeah.
I've actually run a dairy farm and actually had to learn how to make something profitable, like, you know why people don't start studios? Because they don't know how to do it. It's not just
Yeah.
cool pictures and people give you money. When you're an
Right.
employee, yes, you draw fart jokes and people give me money. But
Right.
because someone on the other end of the studio knows how to make money off of a fart joke.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the average artist, we don't know how to make money. We know how to draw stuff. And we probably do it for free if someone
Mhm.
else is paying our bills. But that's the thing that I've learned from dairy cows because I'm like, okay, I have this product showing up every day, and each cow is like an employee. And if I don't sell this product, I can't keep these employees.
Yeah. They eat a lot.
They eat a lot. Oh my gosh. And right now hay is doubled in price. So
You
we're
know.
like 450 a ton because of this drought. And I'm like, ooh. So I've learned so much from dairy cows. You wouldn't think that that would relate to animation, but it does. And I've been
Huh.
very fortunate to have be an employee the most of my life. But now I'm learning how to not be an employee and how to like, and this is what I would tell a lot of artists, like, guys, you have this amazing skill. Actually, it's a superpower. Like, how many people can draw? Not very
Totally.
many. The number of people in the world to the number of people that can draw, and then the number of people that can do animation, it's like it's tiny, and it's a superpower. And yeah, sure, AI, whatever.
Yeah.
But if
Uh,
you learn how to monetize this skill that you have, and it's worth figuring that out, this drawing stuff will pay you the rest of your life.
yeah. And I know that's one of the things that I appreciate, especially your online presence, social media presence on LinkedIn, is I feel like kind of between your storyboarding mentorship program that you do, and just I mean just your general presence on social media, I feel like you really have been super inspirational with encouraging people to do other things. Don't give up just because you can't get a studio job. Like there's so many different things that you can do. And so that kind of leads into the idea of what's probably the number one. I know it's kind of hard to narrow it down, but is there kind of a one major concept or um, just thought process that you would encourage people who are looking for jobs, artists who are struggling right now? Is there any one piece of advice that you think is really valuable?
There is, and
Yeah.
it's not really related to animation, but it relates to everything. So there's a scripture in Luke where the Lord says, "All things are possible to them that believe." And like, of course, I love the scriptures. I read the Bible and all that. Well, several years ago, I took this marketing course. I'm like, all right, I need to learn how to I wanted to do like these classes in my backyard. This is before Illumination hired me.
Yeah.
I'm reading Blue Sky. I'm like, okay, cool. I built a studio. I'm gonna open up at school and teach kids how to do animation. Well, how do I market this thing? So I take this marketing course. And it was like, oh, free 5-day course of marketing. And I'm like, oh, great, I'm signing up. Of course, they're going to sell me something. But, anyways, over the 5 days, they didn't talk anything about marketing. All they talked about was believe in yourself. I'm like, I do believe in myself. Well, I didn't. I mean, I sort of did, but
Wow.
didn't. And for example, I'm going to do these classes and I'm going to sell a class for $25. Like, I'm not going to make a living off of a $25 class. But well, that's all it's worth. No, it's worth way more than that. But I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think I see a lot of artists, they see someone else making money and like, oh, that's cool for them. I could never do that. Well, yeah,
Mhm.
because you don't believe in yourself,
Yeah.
valuing what you have. So after this marketing course, that was the takeaway. It's like, oh, okay, I need to raise the price. So then I thought, okay, it's $100 a month. And I got like 20 kids to sign up, and they were all showing up at my studio. And we're drawing cartoons and having a good time. And then COVID rolls around and shuts me down. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
was working for Illumination, but that got me going. Like, oh yeah, it's about belief. Do you actually believe you can do it? And if you don't, well, then you're never going to do it. So
Yeah.
that would be
100%. We undersell ourselves as artists. That's a huge problem. That and the whole imposter syndrome thing, which I was like well into my 30s when I learned about the whole imposter syndrome thing, but it's so real. Like, it's such a real thing, and that's a big barrier that
Well,
I
it's only real if you let it be, I think. I mean, I'm a pretty positive person. I'm happy, and pretty content with stuff. But yeah, I didn't know that I didn't believe in myself. So that was a big thing. So like look at what you have, find something you think you can do, and then believe that you can actually do it. And then you can, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I see comments on LinkedIn all the time, like, "Hey guys, look at these dudes making $1 million on YouTube. Oh, wow, they have the algorithm." I'm like, they actually did something. They showed up every day. That's what they
Yeah.
did. How they're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and I think that's something that it's easy, it's very easy to complain and get caught up in the, oh, woe is me. And stuff sucks sometimes and it's easy to
Yeah.
feel sorry for yourself,
Oh,
but
well, would you if that's what you think about yourself?
right.
It's
Yeah,
for real. Yeah. What was you? Bummer.
it was me.
Yeah, I have a horrible mindset.
Right. Yeah, oh, it's absolutely. Um One of the other things that I wanted to chat with you about is Storyboard Hotline, which, by the way, anybody who's watching this, Storyboard Hotline is it's a series all about storyboarding that Moroni does with the great Josh Lieberman, who, look him up if you don't know him. He's done a lot of really great stuff, Cartoon Network, DreamWorks. But he's done worked. Is that where you met him? That was going to be a question that I had because I
And then Blue Sky.
this guy. Okay.
He was at DreamWorks, and then he came over to Blue Sky to get hired, or was like, "Hey, looking for a job." So me and a couple other dudes took him out to lunch, and we're talking to him, and like me and Josh just became instant buddies. I'm like, "You guys got really got to hire this guy." And then Josh did what I would say is arguably the best Scrat stuff ever. He did the Scrat in outer space on SH5.
Oh my gosh.
That's good stuff. He did almost all of that himself. I mean, he and I went back and forth a little bit, but it's Josh. It's mostly Josh. And yeah, he's one of the other funny board artists. There's not a ton of funny board artists, at least that I've come across.
Yeah.
So
You have to have the humor. I mean, even in the serious stuff, that's something that I've thought about a lot. Even if you're doing I feel like if it doesn't have a touch of humor in it, humor really ties it all together and grounds it and makes it human. And so, yeah, I agree.
people like to laugh. Nobody
Yeah.
wants somebody.
Tom Cleese said, when you make people laugh, you endear yourself. You endear yourself to them. And that's something that has really stuck with me a lot as an artist and just in general is it's true, you know?
Well, he and I started Storyboard Hotline, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. Because we often meet with people. I mean, we don't always charge everybody, but we'll look at storyboards, we'll look at people's portfolio because we like to help out and help people get going. So we were recording all this. We're like, you know what? Why don't we just make a channel of what we're doing? So yeah, we put that stuff up on Instagram. I'm probably doing 2 or 3 videos a week.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're
I'm
the one whenever I see one, I try to stop and watch it. So for storyboard artists, especially, man, if you guys are not tuned into Storyboard Hotline, you got to be, because you guys are just a wealth of knowledge between the two of you. What you said, you have like something like 40 some odd years of experience between the two of you.
Well, I've been in animation storyboarding for 30 years. This year, 2026 is my 30th year. That actually my 31st year. I started in 1995 doing that Brave Little Toaster stuff. So I'm 31 years now in storyboarding, and I've boarded on 35 feature films total. So like one a year, I guess.
Yeah, you've been a busy guy. You've been a very busy guy, just in general with films. So like, wow, you've done.
So Josh and I are just trying to give out story knowledge. Like we look at a lot of stuff, and I see people post open to work and like, oh, look at my storyboard. I'm like, guys, you're not even telling a good story about your storyboards. You got to do something different. Like I'm telling
Hey,
people, look, my grandma asked me to do a funny joke. Here it is. That will get you to watch something and, hey, guys, latest work or morning warm-ups. I'm like, no one wants to see morning. Why are you making an exercise thing with drawings? I mean, I do it because cows, but I don't go to the gym and lift weights.
I love all of your cow videos. And Chuck Chuck, is Chuck Chuck still around?
He comes and goes. I mean, he's a wild animal, and he's sure he's
Yeah,
gonna bite my finger off.
I keep being like, I hope Moroni's up to date on all of his shots.
Ooh.
But no, I really love how you've pretty successfully blended that side of your life with the story stuff. So that's been really fun.
I'll tell you how that came about. Like I think 3 or 4 years ago, I decided, I'm gonna start making videos. So, I mean, this is my office. I'm gonna show you guys something about me. I am a slob. I am horrible. I
Me
cannot
too.
do anything. Like, this
That's
is
exactly what
this is my desk. Like I'm terrible. Whatever. I'm working on that.
I think creative people who
Um,
try to say that they aren't like that are lying.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying not to use it as an excuse. I should be more organized. But so, all right. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make some videos. So I come to this office and I'm in this like 100-year-old building. That's actual Adobe brick behind me. The building's made out of
That's
Adobe.
cool.
Um, and so I make this video. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most boring, stupid. Who even wants to watch this? So I never posted that video. And then I was out doing my cow chores. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Cows are fun to look at. I think I'll just talk about storyboarding while I'm doing my cow chores. So if you go back to like 3 years on LinkedIn, you'll see me like actually milking the cows and telling stories about Chris Wedge and Chris Militandri and Brad Bird and a few other guys.
It's
And
really,
so I put cows and animation together, and I don't know, people liked it. So I'm like, I'm going to keep
yeah,
this.
why not, man?
Way
Oh my,
better than me just sitting around telling somebody something.
right. No, I think it's great. It's been a lot of fun. And so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. Real quick, shameless plug time. What are you working on right now? Is there anything? I know that we've talked a little bit about you've got your storyboard kind of mentorship that I believe is you're still doing where people can sign up with you for the month, right? And I did experience that. I can tell anybody who's interested, it's completely worth it to get that just that insight um, and work with Moroni in that way. And then the other thing is your storyboard hotline. But is there what else are you up to? I mean, you've only got like one thing going on, right?
So, I can only do one thing at a time.
You can only do one thing at a time. Yeah.
I did a tiny bit of work on the new Minions movie coming out.
Oh, I was wondering about
Monsters
that.
and
Okay.
Minions. I like animation wise, and then there's a new Ice Age movie. Me and Josh have done tons of work on that, but the scratch stuff. Um,
Awesome.
we
That was
got.
gonna be another question is are you I saw that was coming out and I'm like, oh, I wonder if Moroni's working
I
on that.
think it's November of this year. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's soon
Um,
sometime.
so that's the latest stuff I've been working on. Like professionally, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, whatever. Cows, dude, I'm always doing cows.
Cows.
Like this last December, I'm like, I'm turning this dairy into a legit business.
Yeah.
Mostly it's doing backyard cows, selling milk to my neighbors, and now I got like almost 200 people that buy milk from me. Because the cows are making like 20 gallons a day. So 20
It's a
times
lot.
10, like 140 gallons of milk every week.
Wow.
So when it sounds like 200 people, it sounds like a lot, but that's like, people getting a gallon or two every couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I've learned so much about business that now I'm applying back to animation because like, okay, you gotta have cash flow or you're not gonna be able to make a studio.
Yeah. I know. It's not a
So,
very romantic it's not a very romantic way to look at the industry, but it's these are the facts.
yeah,
So that's
it's
awesome.
the fun part for me anyway about
Mhm.
animation, but it's necessary. You gotta learn it. So I
Yeah.
probably spend about a good chunk of my day, 4 or 5 hours a day doing cows, and then the rest I do animation. I just started with a couple of buddies of mine. We are working on making a show. Oh, who knows how this goes? We haven't raised any money, but I
Yeah.
thought I have a cool idea. Let's see what we can do. So I got a guy that's produced a bunch of stuff. I got another guy that owns a studio out here in Utah called Digital Gravy, and they do a bunch of cool stuff. So, and then me, the storyboard artist. So, and then I met with this other guy who's my neighbor, is a really good marketing dude. So I think we got all four pieces in place.
Yeah.
We can put a show out. So for anyone that's wanting to do something like this, here's the strategy that we're gonna go for. So if anyone's seen, there's a show called The Tuttle Twins. It was put.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes, and I had heard about I remember it's been out for a
It's
while,
been
hasn't it?
like the fourth season.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was started by actually this dude was sort of friend. I mean acquaintance, I guess more. A friend of mine wrote these books called The Tuttle Twins. He sold over a
Yeah.
million books. So then the Harmon Brothers, which is a marketing company out here, sees it and they're like, hey, we're going to make a show out of these books. They've never made a show in their lives. They've made a bunch of cool commercials and stuff. So they marketed that show directly to the audience. They knew how to do marketing and they killed it. They raised $5 million to begin with, and they started making. I don't know how much they've raised since then, but so I'm like, that's the secret right there. Like instead of getting us, hoping a studio is going to greenlight something, they're not going to greenlight anything. They don't
Yeah.
want a good idea. If your idea is that great, go find an audience for it. So that's what
Yeah.
Harmon Brothers did. So I'm like, all right, cool. I have this cool idea. So let's market this idea and see if we can find an audience. And that's where we're going to get the money to finish it. So we did a storyboard already. So that's the plan with me and these other guys. And then of course, I'm still doing, freelance work pops up here and there. It's not as
Yeah.
good as it used to be. Like everybody knows, the animation's a dumps and the industry's a dumpster fire right now.
It really is. Yeah.
But what's happening is it's in a transition phase. And what's going to come out the other end is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
the career that I've had for the past 30 whatever years, that's over. Like it's dead now. I'm sorry to be the guy to tell everybody, but it's
Yeah.
unlikely that you're going to go get a job and work at a studio for 30 years or whatever years like I
It's
did.
all contract stuff now. If you get hired with the studio.
And you're going to be working from home. It's not going to be like you're going to have a fun time in the story room, hee-hawing around with all your buddies.
Yeah.
You're going to be at home, like staring at a Zoom screen. Bummer.
Bum,
Um,
dude. Yeah.
but what's coming out the other end is now like, okay, I'm not making the case for it, but this is a reality. Like someone, Grandma Gumdrops in her basement or her front room can literally make a feature film with AI. It's
Yeah.
probably gonna be awful, but how long before it's not? So,
Yeah. No,
um,
that way for sure.
so now we have all these tools, and people are going to do more and more. Like, think of what the cell phone did to photographers. Who hires a photographer anymore?
Mhm.
People still do, not that much, but
Yeah.
everyone looking with their cell phone. When I
Yeah.
started animation, the industry as itself was probably putting out maybe two or three feature films a year. And then as I was graduating schools, that was graduated in 95, well, 96, 95 Toy Story had come out. And actually interesting about that movie. My wife and I got married November 25th, and that was the weekend that Toy Story came out. And I said, all right, before we leave on our honeymoon, we're gonna go watch Toy Story.
I love that.
Because I had booked a cruise for us and we didn't leave till Sunday. So we went to, we got married, I think it was a Saturday night. We went, we're not going back to the hotel. We're going to watch,
Gotta watch Toy
I want
Story.
to watch Toy Story. Hotel, wait, I
Absolutely.
haven't seen this movie. So
Oh man. I remember seeing it in theaters. Worth it.
it
Totally.
was so good, yeah. And that really changed the industry. So now, like, there's probably 30, 40, maybe 50 animated features every year, maybe even 100
Yeah, probably.
that are being put out because of what CG did to everything. So now we've got AI or who knows, whatever other tools.
Hmm.
Um, there's just going to be more than we can watch. And,
Hmm.
and I think the reason why the industry is in, the state that it's in is because of this little device right here, even though we've had these for so long. Who
Yeah.
who's going to the movie theater anymore? Hardly anybody. Who's paying for Netflix? I don't. I'm like, I don't even watch this crap. Cancel.
Right. Yeah.
I'm watching a dude trim cow feet from Scotland on my phone. I'm watching independent.
You talked about that before, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm watching the same kind of stuff. It's like
Why has that guy got 6 million subscribers? Because it's fascinating.
fascinating.
And
Yeah.
my other love is like old rotten cars. I don't want them all painted and looking new. I like the old rotten one.
P.S. How's that? What was it? A tractor? Oh, what did you buy?
It was a golf cart.
A golf cart.
It's a golf
Is
cart.
it working? Is it working? Is it
It's got a
running?
flat tire now.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I took that golf cart right after I bought it. My daughter went to girls camp for a week, and so they always like the dads to come up and hang out. So I
Right.
brought the golf cart with me. Like last year, I went to girls camp and I stole someone's golf cart. And we drove around. And I got busted. It was totally worth it. So this year, I'm like, okay, how can I top this? So I bought that thing and took it up there, and all the girls were driving it around, and one girl jumped it off some stairs, and then
Yeah.
it quit working. I'm like, well. There
What
you
did you expect, man?
go, $100.
That's exactly what I know. I got in trouble when I was a kid. My grandpa had a golf cart for a brief period of time, and my cousins and I took that tooling around and got in trouble immediately. And then we lost our privileges. So it's what happens, right?
Well, I knew that was going to happen. I mean, I figured it probably would. You're letting 14-year-olds drive a
Yeah.
vehicle.
But what memories, man?
But
You're,
hey, it's fun. I
yeah,
actually fixed one of the battery cables come off, so I put it back on. So it's working again. Now it's got a flat tire. So yeah,
well,
I got to get it. But it's fun. I chase the cows with it.
yeah. Hey, it's totally a useful tool. I love driving around in our buggy with the cows.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I like watching videos of people with old rotten cars and whatever thing they did to it. That's what's happening in our industry. People are just it's entertainment is free now. And it's been
yeah,
free for a long time, but you know,
getting back more plentiful. So,
yeah. And it's a supply and demand. There's a huge supply of it. And you can watch literally anything that is your interest. You know, if you like snails, someone's making movies about snails on YouTube.
yeah, they are.
I mean, I talked about that guy who was making videos about motor oil on my
Yeah.
so I watched these videos like, dang, he's actually telling an amazing story about motor oil.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't subscribe to the channel, I haven't watched it anymore, but I watched two videos and I was like, dang,
But it helps prove your point.
it proves the point. And he's actually doing
Uh,
really well. I think he's making like $1 million a year selling some kit to test your motor oil with. So the point is that, well, you know, you're not making a ton of money off of something directly,
hmm.
but an indirect thing. Like that guy makes the videos, no one's paying him to watch his motor oil videos, but they're buying the motor oil kit. There's a small studio here in Utah, about 100 miles north of me. I went to visit them. They make this YouTube show called A for Adley. And it's like a family vlog where there's a dad, he's got these kids, and they do a live action version. And then they take that vlog and they shorten it to like 10 minutes and they animate it. And they use an Unreal Engine or something. They animate that, they put it out. I think they have, I don't know, several million subscribers. It's not really my vibe. Like, I don't want to watch this, but a million or 2 million other people do. And while they're not getting very much money for the show itself, the show sells merchandise. And he goes,
Yeah,
this is doing great with the merchandise. And if we didn't make the show, no one would buy the merchandise. So it's an
right.
indirect thing.
I
Um,
think it was the same thing with toys back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, like
yeah,
my me, those
100%.
series were started to sell the toys. It wasn't the other way around. So
Yeah. And that's why the government shut it down because like, ah, these are just toy commercials. You're selling all these He-Man toys.
they were so good.
So, the opportunity is still there. You can still make money doing animation and doing fun stuff. I think more and more as AI begins to take over, and it's not just animation, AI is taking everybody's job. Like
Mhm.
your movie producer, the big shot now, AI can do their job even easier than it can do the art job.
Right,
AI can make spreadsheets like nobody's business.
right.
Like that fast. So, um, I think that more human experiences will be valuable. As people like, or we want to look at something a computer made. Well, some people do. I don't particularly,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
things are going to change, and it's going to come out the other end being amazing. And you have all these tools and things you couldn't do before that now you can do.
yeah.
It's going to be
I
awesome.
100%. No, I'm with you. I have a positive outlook. I think it's scaring. It scares a lot of people, the thinking that we could be entering this world where AI is everywhere and you can't trust anything you see online. I mean, it's kind of already like that, but
Well, yeah, that way for
it
sure.
works. It's only going to get worse. So yeah, the human made stuff and that human experience is going to be, it's only going to be more valuable in the future.
Yeah,
So I 1000% agree. Moroni, thank you so much. Again,
you're
I've
welcome.
many times, but really, really appreciate you. For anybody who is watching this, um, check out Moroni's stuff. Like I've named off some of the stuff he's doing. Friend him on LinkedIn, unless you don't need more friends. He's got a lot of friends because he's a cool guy. And so, look him up on LinkedIn. And I don't know what other social media you prefer. I know you're on Instagram, but
I mean, I have an Instagram account, but I don't really post anything. So, Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook because I'm old. So,
I still have Facebook too, Moroni. It's fine.
I
Um,
mean, Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up, but you have an awesome day. Have an awesome holiday weekend if you're doing anything. And I'm sure we're going to chat more since you're going to be helping me judge.
Yes, I will. And I have an idea already from the prompts you sent out. I'm making a comic book instead of
You,
a.
That's awesome. No, I love that. Oh, I'm so excited that you're going to do something. I'm excited
Yeah.
about that. All right,
Yeah,
Moroni.
it's been really fun chatting with you.
Awesome. Yep.
I'm
All right.
glad we're friends.
I know. Oh, me too, man. It's been awesome. We especially we commiserate on livestock and all the things, all the things. All right. Take care, Moroni. We'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Bye.